Talking real estate right now with one of my favorite guests, Melissa Mayer from Success Real Estate in Canton. Melissa, you're always on fire when it comes to real estate market, doing deals left and right. Let's talk real estate right now.
Okay.
What are you seeing out there?
I see that the temperature's changing a little bit, and not like we're getting into the fall, but more like buyers are not jumping. Let me say this. I think that buyers are slowing down on quickly getting something right after the first open house. They're waiting and seeing what's going to happen. How is the market changing? I've got a couple of really good listings right now. We're into our second week of being live, so to speak, and I'm getting requests for showings on one of them and the other one not so much. And I think buyers are not, and they're in a good price point for a first-time home buyer. So I think buyers are just kind of taking a step back and waiting to see.
Why not so much on that one? What's not happening?
So there's one that I have now that's in a fantastic price point for a first-time home buyer. It's in a great town. It's in a great neighborhood. It's truly a turnkey, and I hate to use that word because we all say, oh, it's turnkey. You know, walk in the door and it's ready to go. But because everyone's going to make their own changes. But this one, you know, mechanicals are good. The layout of the house is good. It's a great first-time home buyer's house. Leveled lot, shed, 2-car garage, the whole bit. It's not showing well online. And I take all professional photos. I never do anything with my iPhone. Everything is always a professional photographer that comes in.
Are there agents still out there that are taking pictures with iPhones?
Yes,
really?
I don't want to dig on agents, but I do want to say that if you are selling a house, any house, like if it's a $200,000 house or a $1 million house, please don't let your agent take photos with their iPhone. They should be hiring a professional photographer.
That blows my mind.
It blows.
I didn't realize that that's still
me.
happening in today's world. I can see an agent showing up with a camera, but if people are still taking pictures,
they're taking pictures with their phones. And you know what else I don't understand that they do sometimes is they take pictures of like the inside of the garage, or they'll take pictures of like the water heater. Like what? I don't like. No, why are you doing? What are you doing?
So going back to your point, the importance of how a home shows online, it really makes a difference. And in a world of staging has become such a major part of how we sell real estate. It sounds like this home that you're talking about needs a little TLC in staging.
It needs a little love. I think it's very barren, and people need to realize that the online shopping experience is the beginning. It's the appetizer. It's the I'm going to have this first, and then if it entices me enough, I'm going to order more. And I think that you can't. It's like buying a car. And I may be jumping around a little bit. But it's like buying a car. You wouldn't shop for a car online. You would look for cars online. You would do your research. What drives the best? What's getting the best rating? What's the best return? And then you would go to the dealership and test drive the car. That's the only way you're doing it, right? You can't call up Amazon Prime and get a car. I mean, maybe you can, but no one's doing that. Are you buying your cars online? No. Okay,
probably
right.
soon, but
not now,
yeah.
Right? So it's the same thing with a house. And we are so, as buyers of today and technology of today, we are so driven on what's going on with HGTV and how they stage it and how beautiful it looks and how people can just imagine how they could live in this property or in any home. And what I'm finding, what I'm struggling with, is you could take professional photography, you could do floor plans, you could have a virtual tour, but if the house is set up to not be enticing to the buyer online, then they're not going to call you to come see it live. It's just not going to happen.
And what I see is that some people have a hard time envisioning things. Some people have a great eye for that. A lot don't. Right. So I would say most, and especially first-time home buyers. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think most buyers are not. They can't picture. They look at their furniture and they think, I need to buy new furniture when I walk in here. They can't picture how things would potentially lay out and look. So you have to give them this sort of layout. You have to give them this starting point of this is what potentially this property could be for you, this home could be for you. And if you're a seller out there or thinking about selling, I think one of the key components is removing yourself, your emotion, your memories from the home, right? Because you're going to have to change it up. You have to take an outsider's advice. What you thought looked good for you and potentially your family doesn't necessarily look good for the sale of the home.
No, you have to. You have to think about this, and it's really tough because everyone always says real estate's a business, and I know it's a business, and I too feel that sellers and buyers and agents, there's an emotional involvement there that you try to keep separate. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting one call, so let's use my example of the seller that I'm currently working with. We have a beautiful house. We're not getting one call, not one to come see it. We had some pretty good, solid open houses. We've had no second showings, and we're not getting any requests to see the property. And at the price point it's in, I should be inundated with phone calls.
So that's a perfect indicator right there. Change it up.
Change it up.
Something's got to change.
Something
definition of insanity
is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I have a meeting with my client, my seller, and I say, I'm not ready to have the price change conversation. I think as agents, we're very quick to say, we're not getting any activity, we should drop the price. We should do a price change. And I truly believe that the house is priced right at the sweet spot. Like, we may not get exactly what we want, but we should come in pretty close. And I said to myself, I don't really want us to I don't want to change the price yet. Like, we've only been out this for 2 weeks, but I think what we should do is bring in staging. And we should do maybe 1 or 2 rooms.
Blair Hamity, who is the CEO of
Yes.
Setting the Space, always says it when he comes in here is the cost of staging, the investment of staging is always less than the cost of the first price reduction. Investment into the home, make it look great, eliminates that first price reduction, which a lot of people have to go down. Like you said, you have a home that's worth it. You just can't get people in the door because it's not enticing.
And there has got to be more data. I was wondering about that actually when I was driving over here, what the actual data was on what percentages you got for the property, an unstaged property versus a staged property, like how much of a difference really it is outside of the price drop. Like, if I had staged it originally, would it have already be gone? Would I have already gotten offers? Would I have gotten offers over asking? I don't know. But setting the design, Blair.
Setting the Space.
Setting
By
the
the way,
Space.
you can go to other videos on Real Estate Talk Boston. Blair will actually give you that information.
I love Blair. So Blair was going to totally help me out, and this is the craziest thing that happened. So I say to the seller, "We're going to stage it, and I'm going to pay for it. Like, all I need you to do is move your furniture out." And I was told no.
Just straight up.
I was told, I don't understand why I need to do that. Don't people have a vision? I don't understand. I'm looking at properties myself, and I don't understand why I would have to do that. And more importantly, the things you want me to move are critical to my daily living.
Just have to expand their mindset.
You have to expand their mindset at the end goal, and it's our jobs as agents to really dig and ask better interview questions, better questions of what the motivator is. Do you want to sell the house or do you not want to sell the house? Because if you don't want to sell the house, I'm not going to waste my time. I give 110% on every single client. It's exhausting and fun and awesome, but if we're not all in together, then it's going to be, I'm pushing a boulder up a hill by myself.
All right, so stubborn seller.
Very stubborn seller.
Bottom line is, get out there, listen to the agent. You got to be willing to stage. You got to be willing to step outside of your comfort zone as a seller.
You got to be flexible. The market is fluid. The market is changing. It is changing from what it was back in the spring. It is changing right now in the fall. It may change again next spring. And honestly, like, anyone who says that they can predict what's going to happen in 6 months,
yeah. Crystal ball's not hanging out over there.
It's garbage.
Yeah.
Like, well, especially when the seller says, well, if we don't sell it now, I'll just take it off and put it back on in the spring. Okay, great. So maybe the market's going to have a little bit of a downturn and we'll be worse off in the spring of 2018 than we are today. I like to deal with the data at hand and what we have in front of us and what we have right now. And right now, we need to stage and we need to drive traffic.
Let's change topics here.
Let's switch.
A lot of
But I need to
people
switch legs.
reaching out to the show and asking about selling then buying, the move-up buyer, right?
Oh,
Generally
yeah.
term, the move-up buyer. It's amazing to me how many people, get overwhelmed by that thought and don't realize that it is definitely doable to sell a home and buy it without having to deal with interim housing, et cetera. Not every time, but it's doable.
This is my favorite topic because it is like a puzzle, and it literally takes a very motivated agent and it takes a very flexible seller buyer. We'll call them seller buyer. I don't know. We have to come up with a really fun term to call those people, because I would say more frequently I have buyers that are what did you call them? The move-up buyer?
Move up buyer.
Okay,
Yep.
move-up buyer. I call it upsizing, right? I have more of those.
Or downsizing.
Or downsizing.
Let's call it right sizing.
Right sizing. Right, the right-sized buyer and seller. And it is a lot of work. Takes a lot of patience, and it takes a lot of key negotiation. And I would say that 9 out of 10 times you can get it done. But you really need to trust your agent. You really need to be flexible and go with the flow. Can I share about my awesomeness for tomorrow? So I just learned about is it called a hat trick?
Okay.
Is it called a hat trick?
GC, I think that happens on the ice. Okay.
It's a hat trick, right?
Yeah.
So that's when you get like 3 goals. What is it? 3
Yep.
in hockey?
Yep.
3 in a row?
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't watch hockey. I know the Bruins are playing tonight, and you have the Patriots, and you have
Red Sox.
Red Sox, which, by the way, I literally thought the Red Sox were done because I was watching some advertisement for Yankees, and who are the Yankees playing? Who did they play last night?
Indians. Well,
Yeah.
they were playing the Twins. Now they're playing the Indians.
Okay. So I was like, oh, the Red Sox must be done because I thought we were. I don't follow baseball.
Let's get back to real estate.
Okay, sorry. So yes, because this is not my forte. But I will say, so tomorrow I have literally the triple hat trick.
Yeah.
Well, I'm making up my own term. Triple hat trick is happening tomorrow, where I have two buyers that are both sellers. They needed to sell in order to buy. They needed to sell in order to buy. And then to throw in the mix for all my agents that are out there, the third transaction was with a for sale by owner, which always complicates things. So when we're pulling that all off tomorrow with 3 closes, boom, 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 all happening at the Registry of Deeds. I mean, that's huge.
That's impressive.
It's so
big deal to pull that off.
It's huge.
Not a common thing. Point of the story is, though, it's doable. You can pull it off. You just got to be working with professionals. Create your A team, agent, lender, attorney. Bring everybody together, and it can get done.
You really can, and you have to have a little faith. And I think that's the big issue that I'm learning in this business, is that if you have just a little bit of faith, that it will work itself out, because in real estate, it always does. And it may be stressful, and you may want to pull your hair out by the end of the day, and there'll be little nuances, but we have to remember at the end of the day, tomorrow, for example, I will have 2 awesome buyers in their brand new properties, having dinner in their awesome new brand new kitchens, brand new houses, and it's amazing. And it took a lot of work and sleepless nights, but not on my sellers or buyers. This is what the general consumer, I think, forgets. Your realtor, a good agent, takes all that on and plows through it and gets it done. And that's who you want to work with. You want to work with somebody they're gonna stay up for weeks on end trying to get this deal for you to get you where you want to land.
That's why tomorrow night you're popping the champagne.
Yes, I will be popping champagne tomorrow night. Absolutely.
Thank you, Melissa. And if somebody wants to reach out to you directly, if they're buying or selling real estate in the Canton area?
You can text message me at 781-799-4894. Again, that's 781-799-4894. I'm on Instagram, MJMayor29. I'm on Facebook, Melissa Mayor Real Estate. I have my website, which is melissamayorrealestate.com. You can DM me, PM me. You can text me. You can email me. Call me. Let's talk.
This is Real Estate, powered by Hub.